Welcome everyone with the webinar about creating collaborative finance teams. In today's webinar we're going to zoom into how collaboration could work in a reporting environment, how you can work with your peers or with business users together on reports, but also on the data that is present in the reports about improving the quality of the data and yeah, all sorts of kind of collaboration during your reporting process. My name is Wouter Born. I'm one of the founders of CXO-Cockpit. I'm currently based in the USA, and I'm managing our USA business unit. What today I'm going to show is actually part of our latest release. One of my responsibilities in the company is to define our product strategies. I'm really excited about our new theme of collaboration. Collaboration, normally how this happens during your reporting process, it's a very unorganized way. What you see in this beautiful picture created by our marketing department is some kind of spaghetti. People have a question, they call someone, that person emails someone else. He probably creates a retrieve with Excel from their financial systems, and somehow the answer gets back to the person. And these paths are hard to trace. It's hard to come back with a clear answer, and none of this has been documented in a correct way. So what we'd like to introduce today is more how we could do it differently. I guess in the traditional process, like the things I just mentioned, you know, it's decentralized, risk of data loss, your data is disconnected. So also the question that has been asked, the context of that question could have been completely lost. What would be the correct process according to us? It's everyone on the same page, basically. So while you're talking about a report, everyone shares the same report, but even more important, everyone shares the same view on that report. So the same kind of drill down or the same kind of slice dice action that has been done by the original person who asked the question, or a point of view selection that has been made. So filters on your report like different periods, different entities, or different products, to share exactly that view with other people in an interactive way. And that's what I'm going to show today in the demonstration. So what are the benefits of a good collaborative process? I think it's important to have all be on the same page. Also, it's important to have keep track of what has been commented, what has been done in the system. So an audit trail, especially for companies that have to deal with Sarbanes-Oxley requirements, audit trail is a very important part. Besides collaboration and let's say informal conversations, centralized commenting is a really important part of collaboration. Security obviously also is really important, and maybe something that is not on this list but is as important, and that's storytelling. If you work together with a team on a story, you can really collaboratively create a story, but also share the story of performance of your company. It could be a board meeting, or it could be just your monthly reporting pack that you create with a group of people, and yeah, present that maybe eventually to the executive board. So a little bit about CXO-Cockpit, and I'll keep this short. I will move to the demonstration as quick as possible. But CXO-Cockpit is a performance reporting solution, meaning that we provide a platform to get reporting on corporate performance management systems, or EPM systems, CPM systems. We connect to multiple systems. You see on the right side a list of the typical connections that we have. We can also load Excel data into the system. Reports can be multi-source, meaning you can get your actuals from Hyperion and your forecast from an SAP system. or your pipeline again from another system, there's an easy way of setting that up, and in an executive-friendly way. That's really one of the important parts. This system is meant for financial executives, for regular executives, and is meant to be maintained by finance. So some of our customers, and this is just a snapshot, but yeah, you'll probably recognize quite some names. In general, what our customers have in common is not industry. You know, we go from social media to food, to insurance, to pharmacy, to manufacturing. There's a lot of different industries. What our customers have in common is that they all have a well-configured CPM system or multiple CPM systems, and they would like to move away from traditional paper-based reporting into a more digital way of reporting, into storytelling, into commenting in a central way, and actually linking people together and getting them all on the same page. So CXO-Cockpit uses 8 key things as enablers for digital performance reporting. Today we're going to zoom into collaboration and storytelling, or collaborative storytelling, the way you want to call it. Other things that are great enablers are ways to deal with narratives. Set up a secure system, so make sure that only people that have authorization to access certain data, they can access that. It's about connectivity. So those systems that you saw in one of the previous slides, these market-leading CPM systems, we have all native connectors to them. It's about mobile usage. I think the biggest game changer in the world of C-level users has been the introduction of the iPad. Well, before they were handling big stacks of paper, maybe 300 pages in the back of the car, or while they went on an airplane. They now just bring a small, lightweight iPad, and they make them smaller and lighter every time. And that contains all the data, and we really provide that with CXO-Cockpit. In the end, a good reporting, dashboarding solution needs to provide proper analysis, so good charts, good data visualizations. And eventually it should help you in with your compliance regulations. Like what I mentioned before, Sarbanes-Oxley requires to be in control, and CXO-Cockpit provides these controls around your reporting process, meaning who did what, when did what happen, who accessed what data, and who wrote what comments, and who changed maybe those comments. So that's all available in Audit Trail. So for today, we're going to do a little role play, and there's going to be 3 people participating in this role play. The main person today will be John Smith. That will be my main demo role. But we also have Olivia Johnson, who's the group CFO. And let me, before I actually continue talking about the role, let me quickly tell you about the company. Comma Communications, you see in the logo, the todo un poco means everything a little bit. What they actually do is they sell electro-domestic devices to large retailers like MediaMarkt, like Best Buy, and they're importing, exporting, electro-domestic devices that can be from fridges to microwaves to smartphones, tablets, etc. Since they are kind of purchasing and selling, cash flow is extremely important for this company. They want to navigate their working capital and their cash flow in the most efficient way. So yeah, the way how they treat payment is really important. And today in the role play, we're going to look how these 3 people, how Olivia is going to manage her company in that way, how John is going to prepare a story for Olivia's board meeting that she has tomorrow, and how Jose Garcia is actually answering questions from his South America division. He's the financial manager of South America, and John Smith is the corporate controller. So 3 people, you might recognize these roles in your own company, but these 3 people are going to work together, and before they could have sent out a lot of emails or be on the call all day or web meetings, but now they're going to use another system. Let me just double check that we're not timed out. We are. So I'm going to use 2 web browsers today. And let me just re-log in to the web browsers. So first of all, I'm going to log in as John Smith. So as soon as John Smith enters CXO-Cockpit, CXO-Cockpit, and there's always something going wrong in a demo. It wouldn't be a good demo if something wouldn't go wrong. So let me just log in again. So as soon as John Smith enters CXO-Cockpit, he has his way to navigate around this application. I really like to go into the conversation part, and I'll try to explain a little bit about the solution on the go. The key navigation in CXO-Cockpit is the menu up here. He has a lot of reports available, and the point of view bar, which is stuff like a year, a period, an entity, maybe a currency, product, specific rates that you might use, like actual rate, budget rate. You can build up your point of view completely the way you want. The whole solution is highly customizable, and John Smith chooses to see his homepage this way, but it could be completely different. Next to the image of John Smith, he just verifies his logged on user here. He sees he got a question. And actually, when he opens up this question, he sees the question comes from his direct boss, the group CFO, and she's concerned about Mexico, about losing cash in Mexico. So if he opens up this question, he actually opens up a report, a dashboard that we're looking at here, cash flow, exactly the way how Olivia just left it, because she selected the increase, decrease in cash line. You know, it could have been another line. It could have been a change in short-term debt, but this line was selected, predefined. She also selected last year instead of budget, because she's comparing to last year instead of budget. For her, that's a more important metric. And she opened up here in the site control. That's a way to get more detail on a specific account. And in terms of the cash flow report, you see all your different business lines here. She opened up the Mexico, Brazil, Mexico, Argentina group, so the South America group. And she asked me a question about, okay, explain the loss in cash in Mexico. And actually, to be honest, I don't know this answer, but I know that Jose knows. So I will write her back. Let me ask Jose. And while I'm actually writing that back, I'm going to add a participant who is Jose Garcia to this conversation. And actually, in the meantime, Olivia, you know, she's on top of this. She's in the system, and she sees me saying, let me ask Jose. So she just wrote me back, okay, I'm waiting. She can see there's this is real time. So we're really communicating real time. I don't see any, I don't need to refresh the page or anything like that. Let me switch to the other browser where I'm logged in as Jose Garcia. We use single sign-on, so I kind of prepared this login. And you see here the picture of Jose Garcia. And Jose sees, he sees the picture of the group CFO saying she's waiting. So he might get a little bit nervous now and say, what's going on here? But in the end, he sees actually it's just a group CFO asking for an explanation on losing cash in Mexico. And actually his direct report, John Smith, seeing that, you know, Jose sees that John is just waiting for his input. Maybe quickly a little bit about CXO-Cockpit here. You will see that Jose, as a South America divisional user, he cannot see any of the other entities. So his entity tree starts on South America. So this report actually opens up with different numbers. So the cash flow report is not anymore on headquarter level, but it is open on just South America. They're still sharing the same view, but for as far as possible within the security context. When we said before that security is an important part, you know, this is really where we mean like security probably above conversations or collaboration. You know, you want to make sure that people collaborate in the right way on information they're allowed to collaborate on. So one of the things he could do, he could open up Mexico to get more detail, or he could go maybe a period back in the chart. You can now look for August and look for a good explanation. Or actually, in his case, he knows cash has been going up and down in his region, and he actually knows that yeah, within Mexico, our largest customer, MediaMarkt, is currently overdue. So we're waiting on our money, which is, you know, it's an important thing if you want to manage your cash tight. You know, you need to get paid in time because you have your suppliers to pay as well. If I move back to John Smith, I actually immediately see the question from or the answer from Jose back in my conversation. And let's say I would be back on my home page, and at the same time a new question would pop up from Olivia. You know, I see all of a sudden there is a new or like maybe not a new question, but a new part in the conversation. I actually see her asking, okay, can we contact accounts payable? I would like to have this resolved by the end of the week. So, you know, Olivia's on top of this. She doesn't want to lose cash. So I'll just tell her, let me pick this up with Jose. It will be resolved by the end of the week. So very quickly, what happened here is we actually found, like our group CFO found an issue in the data. She has delegated that question to me as John Smith. I participated in this conversation, but I needed Jose to provide the answer. And finally, we take a joint responsibility by saying, okay, we're going to pick this up. We're going to make sure this is going to be taken care of. So instead of just looking at reports, you know, this is a report probably most of you recognize. It's comparing your actuals to last year, and CXO-Cockpit actually provides, let's say, more traditional reports as well, like just a lot of columns. I like the other one where we're currently working on more because it provides some more analytical detail. But a cash flow could look like this as well. So there are different ways of displaying your data. The previous one in our conversation would make more sense on a more analytical report. So, like I said, besides this little cash issue, we have something else we'd like to achieve. And what we'd like to achieve more is, Olivia, I know, you know, as her direct report, I know she needs to go into a board meeting tomorrow, and she needs to update the executive board on the global performance, basically on the profit and loss performance. But even more important, she needs to give a direct explanation on what happened in the South America region. So she needs, she has two objectives for the board meeting because South America is a concerning region. So, you know, the topics are profit and loss and South America. So for this board meeting, she likes to tell a story of performance. She likes to prepare this meeting with CXO-Cockpit. And actually, Olivia is not going to prepare it herself. She asked me, John Smith, to do that for her. So what I'm going to do is create a storyboard. But before I do that, I first need components to put in that storyboard. And the storyboard is our key technology for storytelling. So what I need to put in a storyboard are meaningful reports, put in a certain order, and that have meaningful explanation with it. So it's not just data, it's not just charts, it's not just numbers, it's also about the story behind the numbers. Like, you know, that customer being overdue. You could not read that from the numbers directly. unless you would really allow that level of detail. So what we're going to do now is we would like to create the full story around P&L, and you know, John normally does that by consolidating the commentary from his subsidiaries. And actually, he sees that all subsidiaries wrote comments, but Jose from South America didn't do it yet. So he quickly pings Jose and says that the comments are missing. And tells Jose, I need this by the end of today. Or Olivia could still wait till the end of this week. Jose needs it by, John needs it from Jose by the end of today. So I'm going to switch back to Jose to see how this is received by Jose. And you actually see he got a new notification here. So one like you're used on social media, you know, it's similar functionality. The system would actually send out an email if the user doesn't respond inside the system within 5 minutes. The system generates an email to show that you missed a conversation. And eventually we will offer push notifications on mobile devices as well. So you can really use it like you're maybe used to with Messenger or LinkedIn messages or maybe other chat tools. So he sees a question from John. I need it by the end of today, so he opens up this question. He sees the profit and loss, and he thinks, oh, yeah, I should have written my commentary here. What's important to know is that these conversations are private. So I'm just chatting with John at this moment as Jose. And actually, the point of view comments, what you see here, those are more the formal comments. They belong to the report, so they belong to profit and loss, and they belong to this specific point of view. So we're looking at 2016 September, South America. What you what John probably does not know is that Jose is very smart, and he's just going to copy his story from previous period because that was a very well thought explanation, and he doesn't want to do the same thing again. So the only thing he's going to change is say, okay, it's going to be our 9th month exceeding our sales budget. There's a little typo there, but not really important. And he quickly writes back to John that he's done. So John sees that Jose is done, so he refreshes the page, and he will see that that all his 4 most important subsidiaries have contributed their comments. So what he's going to do is copying. He's consolidating his comments by saying copy children to point of view comments. And by doing that, the comments actually get copied and are ready for post editing. And since Olivia needs a good story, and this company is mainly driven around America as a whole. So South America is more kind of a sub-part of America. So, you know, she likes the comments structured maybe a little bit different. So at least a large font size, and maybe, you know, Asia is going to be sold, that whole division. So let's just leave that out to create one story around commentary. John has the option to actually lock down the comments, lock down all the descendants, so no one below him can write commentary anymore, and then he could lock down his own comments, meaning comments are really locked. The lock is closed here. No one can change the comments anymore because he wants to make sure that none of the comments before the board meeting of tomorrow would be modified. These are formal comments, can be viewed by everyone. This is not a private conversation. So what John will do is he will create a storyboard. And in the storyboard, he would he needs to prepare this board meeting. So he will just call it board meeting. It's a one-time use storyboard. Storyboards can be used for repetitive usage as well. It could be your reporting pack, a digitalized way of your reporting pack. It can also be a one-time use. So he's just going to add this profit and loss, including a commentary, to the board meeting. And then the next thing, what he's going to do is, because he needs input from Jose. So he's going to share this storyboard with 2 other people. First of all, with Olivia, because she needs to And it's going to be complicated because we have two Olivia Johnsons, but this is the right one. And Olivia just needs read writes. She doesn't need to edit the storyboard. She doesn't need to maintain it. She just needs to present it tomorrow. Then he needs Jose actually to contribute to the storyboard. So he gives him edit rights to the storyboard. The storyboard currently just has one page, but we're going to do something about that. And normally storyboards, like if you see here, they have like, you know, they can have like up to 100 pages, but a good storyboard for a board meeting would have maybe 10 pages. This one now had just one. But I'm going to move back to Jose. And Jose sees another kind of notification now. It's not a conversation, but he sees that John just shared a storyboard with him, and he knows what to do. He knows that he needs to create his input here. So he goes to the report with his KPIs. And this is all the best story about South America he can tell, because it has the key KPIs like their days sales outstanding, days payable outstanding, that says something about the cash flow position. But it also has a sales forecast. So what you see here is 9 months of actual sales and then 3 months of forecast. But at the same time, you also see the budget, the sales budget on the background, an orange area. And you can see the line above, which is an end of year forecast. And what Jose just needs to do is to add this report to the same story. So he's just going to add this to the board meeting. And he actually has the option to give a little page note. And a page note, you can compare that to your PowerPoint notes below your PowerPoint slides. Those are informal notes only. Excuse me. Only meant for the users of the storyboard and only for the use case within the storyboard. So he just writes a quick note. Don't forget to mention media issue, and he just adds this page to the storyboard. Well, this is kind of where I'd like to wrap the whole thing up. You know, Olivia would have now a storyboard, and probably by going back into the storyboard and run it again as John Smith, we can actually see how the storyboard would look. And a storyboard can be just played on the screen and gone through like a next presentation telling you the story. They can also be exported to a PDF or a PowerPoint page. But let me just play it and walk through it. And in the end, those are just 2 pages. But Olivia tomorrow would just open up this storyboard, open up this report exactly on the way how John left it. So it contains all the drills, all the point of view selections, and it contains the formal point of view comments. And then from there, Olivia tomorrow would press next and would actually get into the KPI trend analysis of South America with a little note to not forget about to mention the media market issue. And this could have been written different, or she could potentially even overwrite this. But it's just a way of communicating and notes that you don't forget to mention this in your presentation. What we've done today in a nutshell is a process of talking about data, but also about collaborative storytelling. So 2 people together have worked on a story that they could have, you know, talked about. They could have prepared this together without need for emails, without need for phone calls, but just using collaborative features inside the solution. I'd like to wrap up here. We're in the end of our webinar time. This was scheduled for half an hour. But I would like to know if someone has any burning questions. We can still take a couple of minutes more to answer those. If you need to leave, I would really like to thank you for your attention. And but if you'd like to stay on for some questions, let me know. I'm looking at Thomas sitting next to me, doing the moderation for the questions. If
Hi, I would just like to say there is a question box. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to fill up your question there, and we'll answer them. For now, there is one question, and that is, how can you leave a started conversation so future notifications can be ignored?
Okay, that's a great question. Thanks for asking that, because that is part of the solution. Let's say Jose is kind of done with all these questions about South America. So he actually likes to leave this conversation. So to answer the first part of the question, he has just this button to say leave conversation. He gets this question, you really want to leave it, so he's out of this conversation now. To opt out for messages, he has a profile page, and here he can indicate whether he wants to receive notifications, yes or no. In CXO solutions, this is kind of standard, but you can choose whether you want to receive emails, and if you have push notifications configured, whether you would like to get push notifications. So this is really an end user choice. Yeah, to not get overloaded with interactivity.
Next question is, who will control the locking in of the dashboard?
Okay, that's also a great question. Let me go back to John Smith. So John Smith has the role of locker, and actually he's full administrator in this scenario. He also can unlock. There are actually there are 4 levels of commentary usage that we have. If I go back to my commentary that we talked about before, open up the profit and loss report. So at this moment, commentary is locked, and that can be done because John was a locker. Actually, John has the highest level of commentary status. He can also unlock, and that's normally something you only want to leave with administrators or people that you know have that authorization. But it goes up from people that can just read comments and not contribute. You have people that can contribute to comments, so they can actually write comments. You have lockers, and then eventually you have unlockers. And obviously an unlocker can do all the below, so the next role always means that you have all the other options as well. So someone who can unlock and also lock, etc. Yeah, in reality what you will see is you have a couple of people that are lockers, maybe people that are you know, responsible at headquarters and like to lock the whole entity tree down. You probably want to open up the comment contribution to as much as users that would make sense for your organization.
All right. Next question: can a new conversation be added to a report that already has one started?
That's again an excellent question. The answer is yes, and let's just do it. I'll go to my conversation history here, and this could be even while I'm running a storyboard. I could actually start a new conversation. So I could. This was my conversation with Jose, so John and Jose, and for example, I could ping now Olivia saying South America comments are in. So I could quickly send a note to Olivia, and that would not include. So I haven't added her as a participant. It's just exactly on the same view as the previous conversation. If I go to my conversation history, I always have the option to just view a short history, but I can also go to a full page history, where I can really see, you know, several conversations on the same topic. So yeah, this is possible. You can start multiple conversations on the same topic or on the same report.
That was it. Unless anybody else has any additional questions, now would be the time.
Okay, we see no new questions popping up, so we'd like to thank you all for attending. If you have any questions, feel free to follow up by email. You can use the same email address that you that was used to where you received the invitation for the webinar. or you can reach out to info@cxocockpit.com. I'd like to thank you all and wish you a great day.